Facebook family. December 27th, 2023. This year is almost up. Elevate. Facebook Live. Very happy to be here today. Of course, I am not at home. I'm in a hotel room. I'm happy to say I like this hotel room. But let's get back to topic. Elevate Facebook Live, episode 1. What episode is this? 118. 118. It's good to see Aunt Stephanie again. Good to see her for the holidays too. How you doing, Aunt Stephanie? Look like it's just me and you for right now. I'm sure other people will be joining here soon. But Elevate Facebook Live, episode 118. And we're going to be talking about self-innovation. We're going to be talking about the top 10 dangers of self-innovation. The top 10 dangers of self-innovation. So very kind of hyped up. Want to get into this so bad, but I know we got to do our pleasantries and our housekeeping. Shar, of course, is not here. I'm in the glorious city of Victoria. We got one of those stores that are giving me the blues, so we got to get it straight. So I'll be out here for a little while, and but you know, shortly I'll be going on vacation, so I guess I can't complain. Very excited about this topic today. It's really something that it's more of an editorial, really. If I was writing an article, but Shar, of course, is on the road. Shar has never come out to Victoria. She says you can have that. She told me you can have that. Now she didn't say that, but I believe that's what she means. So she doesn't want to come out here. Victoria is a kind of I guess in a way of a throwback town. In a way, it seems like a city that is like, you know, it's not quite fashionable. Some good people in it though. It's just a smaller city out here in Texas. It's really southwest of Houston. So I come out here more often than I ever have before in my life. I think I passed through this city one time before, but the last year and a half, I think I've been out here probably 10, 15 times. So, but back to today, definitely want to give some shout outs. If you're on, please chime in. I see Aunt Stephanie on from Pflugerville. That's kind of like our habit here. Routine is to put our city, what city we're from. But I want to give some shout out just for the new year, because that's really what we're talking about today. A shout out for a new year, 2024. And it's really a blessing to be into a new year. I also want to give Ann Boykin a shout out. Ann has a book out called To Get to Hear, A Journey Through My Childhood. And she's basically covering the span of 1953 to 1963. And it's a project that she was dedicated to and she finished. And it's a lot of just proud of her. A little jealous. I mean, one day I hope to be able to finish the project. I started the project a long time ago, and it still needs a lot of work. So to finish it, kudos, big time kudos. So I wanted to give a shout out to the new year and also give a shout out to Ann. Her book is out there. You can get it on Amazon. She also has a link. And maybe we'll share that link the next time because I did not copy it in paste. I should have copied it. But the link is, if you go to Amazon, you can get it. So it's To Get to Hear, A Journey Through My Childhood, 1953 to 1963. So let's see here. My parents are on. It's good to see you guys. I know it's the holidays, so I feel like, when I used to go to church, it used to be empty, the church. When I used to go to church during the midweek service, I don't really do the midweek anymore, but when I used to go to the midweek, it'd be during this time of the year, it'd be empty in there. And that's how I feel today. We got a couple people on. And then I brought the wrong glasses. So these are anti-glare, but I got to cock my head back just to see the bifocal part. That's what happens when you start getting old. I have to look through the bottom. So 52, sometimes I feel young, but right now I'm feeling pretty old. So it's good to have you guys today. What is Elevate? Elevate is a leadership program. It's Elevate. Hey, I just heard the tail end of the plug for my book. Thank you. you tell me when you're ready. Next week, of course, we're going to be on vacation, but after that, you just tell me when you're ready, and then we'll get started. I still haven't read it yet. I downloaded it, and uh, based on how thick your book is, I might not get to it. Might read certain sections to prepare for the interview. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that say, "Yeah, I read the whole book." I got like a book I haven't read yet. I'm still supposed to. I'm about a month behind on it. So very excited for you, and very excited that you completed your book. Very excited for you. I've said earlier that I was a little jealous because you actually finished it, and I know that there has to be like just a weight off of you to finish that. Mother Brenda, it's great to see you again. I was telling Aunt Stephanie, great to see her again. So really excited about today's topic, and I wanted to start off with a quote of the day because it's 7:06, and yeah, it's 7:06. My dad said correction. Let's see here. Okay. He said congratulations, Anne, and then he forgot the E, so he put the E on there. But the quote of the day is, and it's really apropos to what we're talking about, as far as the top 10 dangers to self-innovation, the top 10 dangers to self-innovation, episode 118. So the quote is, you become unstoppable when you work on things people can't take away from you, things like your mindset, character, and personality. I'm going to say that one more time. You become unstoppable when you work on things people cannot take away from you, things like your mindset, character, and personality. And it's really appropriate for what we're talking about today. So I want to get into it, but I want to just, if we can start off with how you guys feeling about next year. If you had one or two words to describe how you're feeling about 2024, put it on there. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be anything in between. How are you guys feeling about 2024? I'm going to start it off by saying, you know what? I feel like this is a critical year for me. I have, especially for the things that I have on my plate, whether it be professional or personal, this is a critical year for me. And that's how I feel about this year. I don't feel like it's anything that's impossible. I feel like if I put my head down and get to work, then I'll be fine. But if I'm lazy, I'm going to be very, very, very disappointed in myself this year. So I have to be focused. I got to put my head down. I got to get in that zone sometimes. Excuse me, let me get my papers. I just fell. But that's how I feel about this year. Very critical year. Very critical year. Aunt Stephanie said optimistic. Ann said great. I'm booked with an Airbnb for the A&M versus TU. TU. Who is TU? TU game. I don't know who TU is. I guess I just had I can't remember who that is. I feel like I'm supposed to know who that is. But I don't know who that is. So, and fill us in. Who is it? Who's TU? So, only game I care about right now is UT versus Washington. That's all I care about right now. So, but Elevate is an acronym, expectations, leadership. Oh. A&M. Okay, I'm about to ask you about that later because A&M's not playing UT. But anyway, one of the things that elevates an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, effectiveness. And Shar and I really changed our roles. Shar's really taken over the company. She's going to be the one really pushing, training, teaching. I'm going to be the guy that does this once a week. And of course, reading and making sure that I have material, because if it don't help you any, it helps me a lot just to help me stay focused. So definitely we'll be doing this once a week, but she's going to be running the company. And this year will be dedicated to really putting her in the right position, making sure she has material that she believes in and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we're making a shift, just obligations that I have, things that I need to do. I just need to do a little different. Oh, I see what you're saying. November 2024. I got you. So, top 10 dangers to self-innovation. So I want to define self-innovation because most of the time when you hear the word innovation, you're thinking about the shuttle or somebody, a robotic arm, uh, or the new phone that can do everything, or the robot that'll vacuum your house. That's most of the time when we hear the word innovation. But there is a term called self-innovation, and it's the deliberate practice of expanding your mental capacity for taking action from a new paradigm of thinking. Oh, I like that. I like how they put that. Self-innovation is the deliberate practice of expanding your mental capacity for taking action from a new paradigm of thinking. And that's what we're talking about today. You say, well, why? Why are we talking about it today? Well, because of the time of year. Think about it. Everybody's going to be making these resolutions. And I was going to start this off by showing a couple slides. And I had this slide that showed different age groups and how they felt about certain topics, health and fitness, and their resolutions for the following year. And these are studies that were done at the beginning of 2023. And then it's funny because you see these age groups and you see these topics and you can say, oh yeah, they said, shoot, I'm too old for that. They ain't even worried about that kind of stuff. So I thought it was interesting. I was going to play it, but we just don't have time. The other reason, it's just a harsh reality of life, So the reason we're talking about it is because of the time of year and also because of the harsh reality of life. And what I mean by that is captured by this quote. And I hope I ain't quote happy here, but I love quotes. So I love it when somebody expresses exactly what I've been trying to say, and they do it a lot more succinctly. So this quote is saying, the human being cannot live in a condition of emptiness for a very long time. If he or she is not growing towards something, he or she does not merely stagnate. There's no place where you just don't move. The pent up potential turns into an unhealthy state of mind and despair, and eventually into destructive activities. So either you're chasing something, you're trying to grow, or your mindset gets kind of crazy, and then you start behaving in an unhealthy way. Um, I want to go back real quick. Mother Brenda said being focused on certifications for training and fitness. Mary Kay, Char's on here on the road. It's good to see you. Ha ha ha. So Char's on the road. Be safe. But those are the reasons why we're talking about it today. We're talking about it because of the time of year and resolutions. This is the time of year where you say, I want to lose 25 pounds. This is the time of year where you say, I'm going to stop smoking. And it's just a harsh reality of life. If you don't continue to innovate, then you're going to find yourself in a place that's unhealthy. And then that unhealthy thinking is going to birth bad behaviors. So do you have a choice? Yes. Do you really have a choice? Really, no. Either be dedicated to growth or and be happy, deal with challenges, deal with obstacles and looking at them the right way, or don't deal with a focus on growth and be a person that's sitting in the corner upset with the world. So I wanted to start off, and like I said, if this was an article, it'd be an editorial. There's no scientific data on what I'm getting ready to say today. These are just opinions, straight up opinions. So I have the top 10, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I will say this data has been compiled by years and years of research working out there in the world, and I think it is pretty doggone good, but let you guys be the judge of it. So number 10, number 10, the 10th danger to self-innovation, because we need to always be innovating ourselves. But the top 10, the number 10 danger to innovation is selfishness. Number 10, selfishness. And I want to read this article. I promise you I'll make it quick. But this is a person that wrote an article about their own selfishness. And I thought it was pretty good. And it starts off by saying, I remember years ago visiting the National Gallery in London and coming across a picture called The Ambassadors. It contains a hidden image of a skull that only becomes fully noticeable when you stand to the right hand side of the canvas. This optical illusion reminds me of my own selfishness. It has always been there, but I only noticed it clearly when I viewed my life from a certain perspective. It is only in recent years that I have been able to recognize the impact of selfishness in my own life. This self centeredness has been there since my early memories. It has destroyed relationships. It is one of the reasons I became addicted to alcohol. This ruthlessness in seeking my own happiness prevented me from achieving that happiness, and it got me into all types of trouble. It is a pity it took me so long to see this. Prior to this recognition, hang on, y'all. Prior to this recognition of my own self centeredness, I only saw myself as a victim of circumstances. Sure, I had done some bad stuff, but ultimately, this was in response to the unfair things that happened to me. I used to feel baffled and hurt because other people couldn't see the nice guy behind the selfish behavior. I suspect all of us can look at our lives from two perspectives. We can hold on to a story where we are purely the victim of circumstances, or our genes and any bad decisions we have made is in response to this unfairness. There is also another perspective where our own selfishness has at least contributed to too much of the bad stuff that has happened to us. And it goes on a little bit, but I want to stop because I feel like I've been reading too long. But I just thought it was excellent when the person took ownership. I love it when people took ownership of their situation and said, you know what? It was like this picture I saw when I went to the museum. And this image was hidden, but it was always there. And they sat there and said, you know what? This thing is destructive. And I was doing it to be happy, but it was preventing my happiness. So it's a very good article. It's called A New Perspective on Selfishness if you're into Googling. But I said number 10. Number 10, selfishness. Number nine, and you're welcome to chime in if you hear something you like on one of these. Just chime in, and I'll definitely read it. Number 9 is arrogance, and I love the definition of arrogance. It says having or revealing an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. Arrogance. So, number 9, I believe the ninth danger to self-innovation is arrogance. If you're arrogant, you feel like you're already there. When you feel like you're already there, why read a book? Because you don't need the book. You're already there. Why work out, or why do anything? Because you're already there. You know, uh, so arrogance is a huge danger to self innovation, and there's a difference, right? And there's a lot of articles on this, so I'm trying not to go too far into the 718, but confidence versus arrogance. Confidence attracts, arrogance repels. Confidence is aware of strengths and weaknesses. Um, Arrogance, they always have to prove their worth. Confident people determined to use their strengths to the best of their ability. Arrogant people, they brag, they belittle, and they deflate others. And then confident people lift and encourage people. So definitely want to be confident. And it's funny because I remember we did one of our first Facebook lives. We talked about the importance of confidence, and Walt Disney was talking about the 4 C's. And he said the number 1 C is confidence. If you want to be successful in life, number 1 C was confidence. So that's number 9. If you get anything out of this, put a 1 down. Uh, I want to change it up and say something else. But hey, if you get anything out of this, get a 1 down. Top 10 dangers of to innovation. Top 10 dangers to innovation, episode 118. So number 8 is impatience. Man, I remember for years, my mom would tell me to be patient. She hasn't said it in a while, but she would always tell me to be patient because that is probably If it ain't top three of my weaknesses, it's number four. I mean, it's right there. I think it's really number one or number two. But being impatient is definitely a top 10 danger to self-innovation. There's nothing more dangerous than a stupid or unwise person moving fast. And I've been that person many a times. Moving fast, don't know nothing. So I'm definitely going to put that. I ain't going to go too deep in that one because I think it explains itself. Number seven, a lack of financial discipline. At some point, you got to be able to control your money. At some point, you got to be disciplined with your money. At some point, you got to understand that that money is you liquidated. And the choices that you make with that money is your decisions, and you got to own up to it. So at some point, if you want to continue to grow and innovate, self-innovate, then you have to strengthen your financial discipline. Number six, coming down here, prayer and meditation. Now, you guys know my deal. I'm a Christian, but hey, prayer has proven to be effective even for people that are not Christians. Now, the meditation part, I'm not talking about Middle Eastern meditation. I'm talking about biblical meditation. So biblical meditation is when you utter the word softly to yourself out loud. Prayer and meditation, a lack of doing that can be, I call the number six danger to self-innovation. Prayer and meditation. Now, if you're a person that believes in the Middle Eastern meditation, then hey, so be it. If you're a person that, prays Allah or whoever, if you're in Zoroastrianism or whatever, that's on you. But at the end of the day, prayer and meditation, a lack of it, is one of the top 10 dangers to self-innovation. I can't tell you how many times that I've been in a bind or I've been stressed and I prayed or things in my head wasn't right. And I was getting ready to go to a meeting and I didn't want to say the wrong thing because I know that my mouth writes checks that it can't cash sometimes. So I try to make sure that I don't say things that I shouldn't say. Number 5, faulty belief systems. Faulty belief systems. And what I mean by that is you just don't see life the right way. Like maybe you're a little entitled. Maybe you're bitter. Maybe you're angry about something that happened. I don't know when, but at the end of the day, faulty belief systems are a top 10 danger to self-innovation. You got to see it the right way. It's important. And I think that's why we have to have these healthy habits so we continue to see things the right way. I love this one. We're coming down to the top 5. It's 723. Number 4. You see I held with the right number. Number 4, poor relationships. Poor relationships. Definitely top 10 danger to self-innovation. Poor relationships. And I like to use Shar as an example. Those that know Shar know that she's a dynamic person. She's not perfect, but she's a dynamic person. And she's a person that really draws people in. I can tell stories about how I'm amazed by her ability to just connect to people and to draw people in that have no desire to be drawn in. And I think, hey, Aunt Linda, good to see you. So, and I get a chance to see this up close and personal because I see her in different arenas. And I tell you, what you see is what you get with her. She's not faking. She's like this day in and day out. I'm the one that has to take time off and get myself together. She's always got her stuff going. She's always, I've never seen her fake it. Now I've had to fake it. I'm gonna tell you, I have to fake it sometimes. But she is definitely genuine. And when I say poor relationships, she's the exact opposite of that. When we got married, It definitely changed a lot of things as far as the way I do things, even the experiences. I've taken probably more vacations. I've definitely taken more doggone pictures than I want to take. But at the end of the day, it's been a great thing to be in a healthy relationships. So poor relationships are definitely a top 10 danger to self-innovation. Um, and it's funny because they have these articles, right? And it said, some characteristics of unhealthy relationships, and we kind of know what that is. If you're with people that are dishonest, if they're hostile, if they're disrespectful, if they're sexually violent, if they're physically violent, if they're intimidating. But they put one more on that list that I thought was great. They said if you're around people that are dependent, that's a poor relationship. Stay away from people that are dependent on you. That's a poor relationship. Number three, number three, number three of the top 10 dangers of self innovation. Number three is lacking a growth mindset. And what I'm talking about there is I'm talking about, do you have vision? Do you have plans? Are you executing? Are you resetting when you fail? Are you accountable to anybody? Are you reflecting? Do you have a growth mindset? That's number three. That's number three. Do you have a growth mindset? 726. Whew. Number two, work ethic. Work ethic. We did a Facebook Live a long time ago, and we said, hey, if you were to list up these different themes out there, these different ideas like love, faithfulness, generosity, uh, uh, God, if you just was to list all these concepts, work ethic, where would work ethic fall? And I believe it's number two, right behind God, because everything you got to work on. If it's love, you got to learn how to love. You got to put work in. Uh, if it's generosity, you got to learn how to be generous. I mean, to me, work ethic is number two. So work ethic is number two on this chart too. Are you organized? Are you clean? Are you reading? I think reading is, to me, it's funny because I've done full circle here. I went from a kid that never read anything until I was in my 20s to a person that is just kind of upset to see that we don't read. And I love this quote. This quote is really good. It says, this person said, I have lived 1,000 lives and I have loved 1,000 loves. I've walked on distant worlds and I've seen the end of time because I read. The exposure, the experiences that you get to be a part of without leaving the room, you can't compare it. So to me, it's one of the worst things that school systems have done. They don't push it. It's not pushed in the home anymore. And it's terrible because these experiences, you can't take them away. And this quote was powerful. He said, I lived 1,000 lives. I've loved 1,000 times. I've walked in distant worlds and I've seen the end of time because I read. So that I love that. It's by George R. Martin. And number one, the number one reason, the number one danger to self-innovation. Number one, I wish I had a drum. One day I'm gonna get that little monkey. I saw a little monkey that'll just play the drums. I'm gonna get a monkey and just sit it right here. It'll play the drums. The number one danger to self-innovation. I'll tell you what. We only got a minute. I can't ask y'all. But if you think you know what it is, I'll wait for a second. What do you think is the number one danger to self-innovation? If you heard them, I'm gonna go over them real quick. Number 10 was selfishness. Number 9 was arrogance. Number 8 was impatience. Number 7 was the lack of financial discipline. Number 6 was a lack of prayer and meditation. Number 5 was faulty belief systems. Number 4 is poor relationships. Number 3, lacking a growth mindset. Number 2, a poor work ethic. And number 1, excuses is number 1. Number 1 is excuses, because excuses show a lack of honesty with yourself and others. Excuses prevent you from taking ownership of anything. Excuses let us know that you don't understand the value of reacting and how to react to challenges. Shar put me. I don't even know what that means. Shar put me. She said self. Well, true. All these have to do with self. But number one I have here is excuses, because life is full of challenges and responses. And when you make an excuse, you do not value how to overcome or how to respond to challenges. So I love to use this as an example. I know it's 7:30 and y'all ready to go. I love to use Stagen as an example because before I got into Stagen and they taught me how to be more organized and how to see things a little different, I used to think what they were asking me to do, they, meaning my bosses, my supervisors, was impossible. But then you get into a program and they show you how to save time here and there. They show you how to look at things a little different here and there. And then all of a sudden, the thing that I thought was impossible is very possible. And all it took was having an open mindset. And that's what I really appreciate about Stagen. So that's it, guys. Next week, we will not be on. We're taking a little vacation, and then we'll be back on right after that. Really appreciate y'all coming on. Please buy Ann's book. And I told you we're going to get some copies. We're definitely going to order some copies. But the title of her book is To Get to Here, A Journey Through My Childhood, 1953 to 1963. So congratulations on finishing that. And I'm really proud of you, Ann. You guys have a great one. Shar, be safe on those roads. I know I'm going to talk to you in a little bit. But remember our little slogan, be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.